Africa's future at stake. How China and the West are fighting for dominance. Who's winning the battle for Africa? Is it China, building railways and skyscrapers at lightning speed, or the West, with promises of aid and democracy? This isn't just about politics. It's about the future of a continent. By the end of this video, you'll understand the strategies both China and the West are using, how it impacts Africa, and what it means for the global balance of power. This story is bigger than you think. Let's start with China. Over the past 2 decades, China has invested billions into African infrastructure. Think bridges, roads, and even entire cities. This isn't charity. China's strategy, often called the Belt and Road Initiative, connects Africa's resources to Chinese markets. Copper from Zambia, oil from Angola, and cobalt from the Congo fuel China's industrial growth. There's a catch. Many African nations are taking on massive debt to fund these projects. If they can't pay, China could take control of strategic assets, like ports or mines. Just look at Sri Lanka's Hambantota port for a cautionary tale. And then there's the backlash. Critics say China is creating a modern form of colonialism. But others argue these projects are a lifeline, building what African nations need most: infrastructure. China's moves are bold. But how does the West respond to this growing influence? Stick around. This competition is far more complex than it seems. The West, led by countries like the US and former colonial powers like France and the UK, has taken a different approach. Western countries focus on aid, democracy, and security. The US, for example, has initiatives like Power Africa, aiming to bring electricity to millions. Meanwhile, France and the UK maintain military bases, claiming they're fighting terrorism. But this strategy has limits. Critics say aid often comes with strings attached. Western nations push for democratic reforms, but this can clash with local traditions and realities. And while the West talks about human rights, some accuse it of hypocrisy, pointing to its past colonial legacy and ongoing exploitation of Africa's natural resources. Now, what about Africa itself? How do African nations see this power struggle? Some leaders welcome Chinese investment, saying it offers what the West doesn't: quick, no-strings-attached development. Others prefer Western partnerships, arguing they're more transparent and sustainable. And then there's the public. Many Africans worrying about exploitation, whether it's Chinese companies hiring mostly Chinese workers or Western corporations draining resources without fair pay. But here's the exciting part. Africa isn't just a battleground, it's rising as a global player. From tech hubs in Nairobi to renewable energy projects in South Africa, the continent is shaping its own future. This power struggle isn't just about Africa. It's about who leads the world in the 21st century. And one big question remains: is Africa benefiting from this rivalry, or is it being used? So, what does this fight mean for the world? If China dominates Africa, it gains a strategic edge in global trade and resource control. But if the West strengthens its influence, it could reinforce a world order based on democracy and free markets, or so it claims. This struggle also impacts global politics. African nations, with 54 votes at the United Nations, hold significant sway in international decisions. Both China and the West know this and are vying for alliances. So, what's next for Africa in this global tug-of-war? The future depends on how African nations navigate this competition. Some experts suggest diversifying partnerships, working with China, the West, and even other emerging powers like India or Turkey. But the real key is within Africa itself. Empowering local industries, investing in education, and strengthening governance can ensure Africa benefits from its partnerships, rather than being exploited. Africa's future isn't just in the hands of foreign powers. It's in the hands of Africans. The question is, will the continent rise as a global leader, or will it remain a battleground for outside interests? The world is watching. And what happens next will shape the 21st century. Now it's your turn. What do you think about China and the West's influence in Africa? Let us know in the comments below. And if you found this video insightful, hit like, subscribe, and join us at Noble Black News channel for more in-depth stories about the forces shaping our world.
Thank you for watching Noble Black News, where we strive to bring you the real stories and perspectives that truly matter. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up, share it with your community, and leave your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. Make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on our latest content. Together, let's continue to uncover the untold stories and celebrate the achievements of the global Black community. Stay tuned for more powerful stories. Until next time.